ready for takeoff.
We are cleared for takeoff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time to take flight in your community and in your life. This is Audio Airstrike.
All right, so we have to talk about your experience over the past week. We got to talk about it.
We got to talk about it. We can't talk about that.
What's the issue?
We can't talk about that. This is serious. This is serious work, man. This isn't that rally dally tally talk stuff you wanted to talk about. My life is complex, bro. We can't talk about that. My job, people's careers. Really, you won't put it out there like that?
Every particular topic that we have done on this episode since you have been a reoccurring guest has been complex, and we have broke down those complexities.
Yeah, but
I don't see what the issue is now.
The big difference is those complex characters, I was assigned to do a job, and I was pretty much the leader producer and all this. We're talking about Cagezilla. We're talking about cannabis. We're talking about a whole community that's kind of popular, but people just don't understand the dynamics of it. I mean, this is dangerous. If I say a few people's wrong name, they will fire me, dog. It doesn't matter how good I am. I mean, like even though I'm good at what I do, I got to be humble because I got to be very careful when I put things out there. That's why we can't talk about it.
Brandon, how many people have we come across? How many experiences have we had? How many strangers' names have we dropped? We've put headshots on people's names.
Headshots on people's names and all that is one thing. Talking about political things is another thing. But we're talking about an industry that just got legalized within 3 years, and it's like the Wild Wild West in the game.
It sounds
and,
nice.
And it is like the Wild Wild West, and it's one of those things where the idea sounds better than the actual doing. I mean, the idea of something and the reality of doing something are two different things, dog.
I hear you, but here's what you have to understand, right? Point number one, this is a podcast. Point number two, the whole purpose of a podcast is to have a discussion.
An engaging conversation.
Yes. You understand. Don't play dumb with me.
Yeah.
You know what the deal is. You know it's an engaging conversation. You know what time it is.
Yeah,
you know what type of time we're on.
You wanted to talk halftime show and U.S. games and all of this stuff, and now I'm telling you about the industry and the game and this new game I've been playing. Like all those other games I've been playing, I've been raised in some of the games that we talk about. I've been doing it 10 years. I've been doing this 9 months.
You've done it longer than that. I've had you on this episode. Truth be told,
I'm talking about the industry.
I get where you're coming from with the new industries that you're in, and you've been doing it for 9 months. But at the end of the day, since you are a reoccurring guest on the show, and since you are always evolving, and people have watched you evolve throughout every episode, you really going to tell me that now you're going to switch up because you got the Hollywood glasses now. You ain't trying to talk. You trying to be PC. Look, I done watched enough NFL games and press conferences to watch how you
have been
act.
humble lately, haven't I?
Yeah, you've been
I've been busy.
PC like anything. PCBK is your new name.
No, it's not PCBK. What are you talking about? I'm still a rebel at heart, man. I still come to get it every day.
Delusion. Anyway.
You know what? You really want to take it there. You really want to take it there and talk about this.
Yes.
All right. You want to talk about my day yesterday? We can talk about yesterday.
Go ahead.
No, it's your show. Don't you got an intro or something to do? I mean, how you usually do that stuff?
This is how I do it. Watch and learn. Take notes.
All right.
This is Audio Airstrike, episode 198. I'm Everett Hall-McNeill. Thank you for joining us. And my guest at this time is somebody you know very well. This is BK.
Old school, baby.
A little bit too old school with them Tom Cruise Top Gun glasses you got on. Look, we don't need you singing. Please do not sing.
I can sing, man.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to I brought you in, chatted up with you. You're one of my good buddies.
You brought me into my attic. I brought you into my attic.
Any place that I set up and do this show, I kind of end up taking it over anyway. That's
what was
how
the last
game
time
goes.
we were here?
Last time we were here was what? In this particular room? About 2 years ago.
Right before it broke out. Right before everything went crazy. It was you, me, Adam, Nico, Elijah, all of us.
Yeah, that's how it went. That's definitely how it went. And it's good to be back 2 years later. Good that everybody's safe. We hope you guys are safe as well. So let's get right down into it.
Right,
tell us about your job and tell us about the recent experience that you've had.
Which one? Which job? Which experience?
Well, you can start with your green cannabis job that you got full time. Start with that.
All right. We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful. We're gonna talk about this because I'll talk about it, but we do gotta be careful out of respect to other people. You know what I'm saying? Haters.
Who are you talking to?
Okay, all right.
This is me. Like I know the what lines is. I know how the chessboard is looking. You ain't got to tell me that.
Yeah, the chessboard looking all right now, but when my king starts running, that's when I'm in trouble.
No, I mean when the queen goes off the board, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but when the king, I'm done when the king's done, right?
I play chess longer than you. Don't play with me.
All right. Well, I love my job. We'll say I work at Green Dreams, and some people they call it a weed farm or something like that. What it really is it's a manufacturing facility, a grow facility, a science lab, a baking lab, a packaging department, a shipping and receiving department, and on the other end of it, we have a dispensary with all of your simple stuff, such as gold leaf and stuff like that, you know. And I've been in the game for a little bit. I like it. I pretty much am a maintenance / construction / custodian. I do custodial work as like rounds because, you know, I move kind of fast. And we got a guy that does that, but if he doesn't show up, I fill in for that guy. And on the construction side, I blend in with different crews. Like sometimes we got contractors for all types of work. And when they come in, I assist them in whatever it is. Some days it's electrician, some days it's plumbing, some days stuff like that. And some days we do a lot of remodeling. I do remodeling in the facility. But what I really like to think I do, I build the people around me. You know how I roll. I'm always fired up. I'm always ready to go. And every day's an adventure at the joint. And that's why I like it right now.
So how did you get into that particular industry besides being a consumer?
Well, you know, I'm not a consumer like that. I don't smoke weed anymore. No, I had to pass a piss test to get the job, bro.
Oh, okay.
I did. I had to pass a. Doesn't
that
make some
to...
sense? How does that make sense, right? You gotta pass a urine test to get the job, and
it's a cannabis job, though.
Yeah, but it's in the medical field.
Oh, okay. Well, now you say
medical,
that
it's medical
okay.
cannabis. You got to get a medical license to get the stuff. It is serious. I mean, this isn't your Reggie on the block sold by John Doe or Joe Schmo.
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand
this is the best stuff, and all the people that make this stuff, especially in Maryland, because if you make in Maryland, you can distribute it in Maryland. Anyway, you remember Elijah Chiboli, right? He got me the job, so to speak.
Okay, cool. And shout out to E.
And it was one of those weird things because, you know, I was doing When Nature Calls. I had the show, and, you know, the show came to an end. And then, you know, me, I couldn't really stay still for a while. I kind of was a little panicked there for about a month or two. Had a stash of cash, was going through it. Didn't really have any reason to panic. You kept telling me to chill out, man. You remember that?
I definitely did, because you were antsy. Like, you were so used to a certain... Here's the thing. When you get out of one grind and that grind ends and there may or may not be another grind coming for another while,
yeah,
the one thing I think that you don't want to be is stagnant. So you kind of get like very antsy and kind of like irritated because it's like, I don't want to be stagnant. I'm trying to always progress and move, which is admirable.
I think you were at my house around that Christmas, remember? It wasn't just that. It was like when I had more time on my hands without When Nature Calls, Cagezilla was pretty much canceled, and all the MMA stuff, all the boxing, all the smokers, all the gyms, so to speak, were just kind of rebuilding. They couldn't really do any live performances and stuff like that. And you remember I was just filming all types of crazy stuff. I was filming every day just that because I didn't want to stay at the house. Then I was working out really hard because the gym's open. I was working at an extreme amount of level, and I pinched the nerve on my neck. And remember in December, I was with you, my mom, and Aubrey, and I couldn't really move like I normally moved. Remember, I had to go to physical therapy, and then that was well, you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
You told me
it was last Christmas.
You told me you never seen me like that before.
Yeah, you were pretty stiff, irritated, kind of, and in a way like introspective. Like you were kind of like at times upset with yourself.
Yeah,
and trying to figure out, the next steps.
I was real emotional because, I thought I'd be doing that show for 5 years, and and I'd given a lot to that show. I made some good stuff. I made some good seasons, some good podcasts. We were starting to catch weight. 2020, before the pandemic, would have been a career year. I mean, you figure we had East Puerto Rico, me and Nico. We had, in 2019, we had Cagezilla that was moving really fast. We had all the smokers, Jason down there, Level Up. He was moving really fast. And your podcast was, I had more than enough on my plate. And then right as When Nature Calls is supposed to start doing these outdoor shows, running the stuff in front of a live studio audience, it's like, bam, we can't do no shows. And then it was like watching it fall apart piece by piece. Like when your car breaks down, you know what I'm saying? And you're watching your car break down. That's how I felt my life was.
Yeah, that is always scary. That is always scary. But here's the thing, Brandon. What you've done is that you've made like a bunch of connections. You link up with people. You're a social butterfly in a lot of ways.
Butterflies.
I know behind that denim and that all that badassery you trying to do right now.
Yeah, you like it because I'm a badass. Brandon the badass.
Anyway.
BK, badass BK. Old school badass
behind
BK.
all that, you're a social butterfly that's vulnerable. So, which is a good thing. So when you went to and made those connections, you looked out for people, that energy reciprocates and people start turning around and look out for you, which is why you ended up, E turned around, Elijah turned around, recommended you for the job, and you ended up getting it.
I did. It was slick. And you remember I was riding a trash truck.
Mm-hmm.
I got healed. I worked out for a month. Doctor said, don't do anything dramatic. And I went out and rode a trash truck just to see what it was like.
So it was definitely an improvement from that job.
Yeah, we moved up. He's like, Brandon, get off the trash truck, bro. You're better than that. You got a college degree. Stop doing this. And Lindsay's like, yeah, you need it. And I could have laid back in the cut and got unemployment, but I'm like, nah, I don't want unemployment. I want to ride on a trash truck. That's typical. That's how you know things were. I was too much time on my hands.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
He said, I got the spot. And then he was like, I give you full benefits. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. He was like, I give you a good salary. I was like, that's cool, you know. I mean, I'm just doing this. I don't know. He goes, I'll be your boss. I'm like, so you'd be my boss? He's like, yeah, you'll be on my crew. And I was like, I'd be on your crew. And that's nothing unfamiliar. I mean, I've been on E's crew when he went to his first pro fight, his last Sammy fight. Being on E's crew is a fun thing to do. Can't even imagine what it was like. And then he's like, plus I'll let you choose your own schedule. Just give me Monday. I was like, Monday through Friday, 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day. He's like, yeah. I was like, sign me up. Then next thing you know, I had to go through the process. It took me, long story short, it took me about 8 to 12 weeks to get in.
Okay.
And that's just because, you know, me, I was writing a film with Twin at the time, doing music studio stuff with him, just kind of keeping my ear to it, writing scripts, just filling time, so to speak. It wasn't really, didn't feel any urgency to get the job, but at the same time, I was still also looking for video production jobs, seeing what was out there. And, you know, they weren't jumping at everybody. They were all like, a lot of video production jobs, the vibe I felt, looking for one, losing one and looking for one was, we're not making any jumps for people. We're trying to consolidate with the people we got. And that's how business was. Everybody was set ship. And I'm like, all right, so we'll call it Green Dreams. So I was like, I give Green Dreams a chance. The Elijah quit, got himself an $80,000 federal government job. And I started the next week. And they kept on asking about me. And Elijah, you know, he talked me up. It was like, you're going to get Brandon. And they were like, who is this guy, Brandon? He's got this video production thing. And Elijah's like, Brandon's tough. He's not just a video producer. He's got his right. And they're like, can he even hold a screw gun? And I'm like, yeah, I can hold a screw gun. You know, it's not a big deal. And I get in and I start with my guy, Eric. And he took over E's job. We both started on the same day. I think that was another part of it. They needed somebody to replace E. And I think when they brought me in, they wanted it to be fresh. They wanted it to be a fresh start. And you got to give it up. Sometimes people don't like Green Dreams corporate or Green Dreams bosses. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they get it right. And, you know, then they put me with Eric, or we'll call him Batman. And then it was boom. I mean, we started building day one.
Well, that's great. So tell me, first of all, tell me a little bit about some of the things briefly that you like about your job, and then we'll move on to who Eric is as a person.
Well, first of all, I guess you could say what I like about the job the most is the people that I'm around. Now, a lot of these guys, they're younger, they're 21 to 30, and sometimes, because I'm so old, sometimes I refer to them as kids, but they think like kids. I call the place Smurf Village, and I know when you think of Smurfs, you think la 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 la, and I'm talking about those Smurfs because there's so many of them. There's like 100 of them, all in different crews, all in different squads, and they're all moving at a pace for their own team to get the job done. And the difference is when you walk into a normal job, say I'm carrying something heavy and somebody gets the door, I say thank you. Sometimes a person say thank you. Sometimes a person won't even get the door for you. These kids like, thank you. Thanks for carrying the Greenway stout. Thanks for carrying this big brick of stuff. Thanks for doing this. And it's like, first 2-3 hours I'm there, everybody's thanking us for showing up. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. Because they're how Smurfs are soft. You know what I'm saying? Like they're always into some mischievous thing. It's not bad. But, they're not just happy being Smurfs. No, they got to Smurf around. They got to do all kinds of crazy little antics and stuff.
said Smurf around.
They
That
do.
is crazy.
Well, that's how it is, man. And just being around that and the people, they were all happy because some of them, I don't want to get a job. I'm a stoner. I'm this for life. And then it's like, okay, well, you want to work around cannabis? And they're like, yeah, dude, I want to work around cannabis. And then the next thing you know, there's like 100 other Smurfs just like them, but a little bit different. And then they're all kicking it. And next thing you know, after that, they're part of this machine that just produces and produces and produces.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime you put young people in working positions, there's a sense, a level of youthfulness that they bring and a joy that they bring because they are young. They ain't walking around with a whole lot of baggage that we know of, or possibly, depends on who the person is. When they step in that workplace, and if you do right by the young people, and if there's a great management and a great atmosphere around them work-wise, it's a good marriage. If not, the young people are going to look at that, especially nowadays, and go, I'm not happy here, I'll go and leave. Because with Gen Z people and even younger millennials, my happiness comes first. You're not going to beat me down with a salary and then I'm bitter for 20, 25 years. You ain't going to do that to me. I'm going to go where I'm happy. And even I have that same ideology. If I was to ever take something, it's got to be the best fit for me, right, and for my family involved. And also, I have to be happy doing what I'm doing. Those two things equate to me. Ain't no point of taking no 6-figure job. This is not no diss at nobody.
If you're going to be miserable. I mean, a lot of people have been
miserable.
quitting this year. I mean, that's another weird thing. They call it all these things. One of the things that recently happened, especially in December, is all these people are quitting jobs. They're getting out of stuff. They're looking for the next best thing. Mental health is a big deal. And it's always a fine line because all these old school people are like, mental health, is that a crutch? Is that a real thing? I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but how do you treat it? How do you fix it? And we get into that. And that's what I'm saying. And all of these guys, I think it's interesting with youth because sometimes they don't understand. They work so hard and they want to get so far, but they don't understand how difficult it is on your own, because that's what led, I never had a problem doing freelance work or going out on my own and doing things. And I worked hard. Mm-hmm. Now, some people think I was underpaid.
I thought let's wake it up. I thought he was grossly underpaid.
But I stuck with it and I just kept putting that energy into it. But the thing is, you can only do so much by yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where it gets really interesting with my crew, because it started off with me and Eric, and then after about a month of me and Eric come in, I was all happy with him. If you're gonna be happy, I'm gonna be happy. You want to
give me like a brief backstory about Eric, so that way people kind of know and kind of get the personalities of where you work at.
Well, we'll call Eric Batman. We call Eric Batman.
Okay.
When I first met him, I said you're a play between Batman and Garfield because Eric's got a real good poker face, real serious, like kind of talks like this. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a good heart. I have a very good heart, Everett. I'm a real smart guy. And then you say that, like, say Eric. I come on. Eric has a problem, right? He's like, all right, so we need to move all of this stuff out of this room. And then I look at him. All right, well, let's get the screw guns. Let's take them all down, throw them over our shoulders, and get them over the room. Well, Brandon, it's good that you were thinking, and I'm glad that you had an idea. But at the same time, it's a lot of weight, and we can't just have you wearing yourself out in the first hour of the day. We're gonna get a few dollies, and you and I are gonna do it. You can drill away, but just be careful while you do it. All right, Eric, let's go kick ass. So that's the first idea. The second way that goes is when I get past the I'm glad you're thinking to an actual idea that he hasn't thought about yet, because most of my ideas he's already thought about. Like, I come out with 10 ideas of how to fix something, how to solve a problem. 8 of them are just a road to I'm glad you're thinking, but I already thought of that. At which point he will tell me what I did not think about in my idea. And then but he's solid. He's got an Army background. He used to work in physical fitness for LA Fitness. He did that for a long time, just fixing workout equipment. So I got a kind of I'm familiar with the gym. So we were that kind of thing.
That kind of became a bonding for you guys.
Immediately. Plus, I'm so high energy. I mean, we go out to throw. We got this big dumpster, right? And this dumpster is all locked up except for 3 little trap doors that are hidden with a little padlock with a code. And we put the code in, open up the doors, and we got like about 5 or 6 recycle bin size trash cans. They're all loaded up with what I call weed waste, but it's actually technically green waste. When they pluck all the buds off of the plants, and they do them in sets of maybe, I don't know, about anywhere between on a super light just experiment, how fast can we do it, maybe 200 plants to are they really kicking ass and pushing it, 600-700 plants, cutting them all up. You know what I'm saying? Stretching them out on a rack, rolling the rack out, and trimming all the bad leaves and all that bad stuff out of them in groups. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They move in sets. They move in teams of Smurfs, and they cut it all up, and they put this, and the waste goes in the green waste, and they weigh out the green waste, and then we take and we trash the green waste. Well, my first day, Eric says, the green waste can't be outside the dumpster, Brandon. But before he said that, we pull all these trash cans down to the green waste. We open up the bins, and he's like, all right, now we're going to do this. And I just finished the trash truck job, so I knew the magic of the trash truck throws. I slammed them things in like 3-5 minutes, man. Boom, boom.
So it was a slight flex.
You know me. And I went boom, 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 boom. Put him off to the side. Then he looks at me and goes, well, you don't fuck around. And I like that. However, you see all those leaves on the ground on the concrete? It's like, yeah, boss, I see them. He goes, they can't be on there. That's against code. See what I'm saying? That's a typical Eric Brandon scenario right now. Right there. I want to kick ass. Okay, kick ass. Very good, but look at the sloppy mess you left behind or whatever. I don't always leave behind a mess, but you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah. He's always checking the details. Like, you make the I's and you make the T's, and he makes sure they're dotted and crossed. Basically is what's going on.
Yeah, and for the longest time, he was the filter, because looking back, I didn't think about it at that moment, but looking back, he was thrown into a firestorm. This place doesn't have any maintenance. They got a construction site remodeling thing going on right there. They just lost Elijah. You know what I'm saying? The crew's looking not weak, not worn out, but you're just thrown into the wind. And he handled it like a champ. He fired one dude. One dude was acting really stupid. And he was looking out for the dude at first, but then the dude started acting like a idiot. You know what I'm saying? Throwing stuff around the office. And then Eric was like, bye. And then when he fired that dude, it was just me and Eric until Chance came along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely get that. So let me ask you this, because we're really going to you sound like company man right now, but every company man has something that they don't like about their job, and you better not run when I ask you this question. What do you least like about your job? Don't run.
Now, here's the thing. You're calling me a company man, but you got to understand, you're calling me a company man, bro. And
did I gaslight you? No.
I just, it's just weird because I never thought I would like being a factory worker. I always thought, but I always like building engineering, and I do like construction work, and I like getting dirty,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like the smell of weed. I don't like smelling like weed everywhere. Like if I, like my dirty clothes mixed with sweat. It's Brandon sweat. I'll go in smelling good. My car smells like weed. My shoes smell like weed. I don't like that, especially considering I don't smoke it. Everybody looking at me like I'm high and shit. Like, nah, I'm not high. And the weirdest thing is the thing that's the most that I hate the most about my job is the thing I hate most about my life is I hate losing talent. I hate losing good talent around for stupid reasons. I hate that. Sometimes you lose talent by death. Sometimes you lose talent just because the ship's going in another direction, and there's nothing you can do. And sometimes you lose talent because the talent takes their talent for granted. And I don't think you can stop talent. I think talent will always rise, but I hate it when you're riding with talent, you're going to the end and you lose talent. And that's the thing I hate most about my job. If we lose talent, then we're failing ourselves. We need talent around us, and we need to inspire talent around us, right? And I know that sounds corporate and stuff, but I'm not trying to sound that way. What I'm trying to say is it's a selfless act working with somebody, being in the trenches, rocking and rolling with things. And I just think that when you lose talent, it brings in sadness. And the only way you can get around the sadness is by stepping up. Now, before I say a month ago or 6 weeks ago, something like that, I was always worried that the talent wouldn't get promoted within the Green Dreams, within the company. I was, you have all this talent around you, you groom them, some key people leave to go wherever, and you're still hiring outside. Why not promote the people from inside and hire new people to train? You know what I'm saying? That's the way I feel it should be. Mm-hmm. And that didn't happen. But then next thing you know, there's my homeboy Evan, my homeboy Kyle, my homeboy we got Evan, we got Kyle, and we got Carlos. They got promoted recently. And the cool thing is, ever since I've been started, I've been that guy that's like, be patient. And they're young, strong, and talented, sharp. And they're like, I want to make that $100,000. That how these kids are. You were talking about. They're like, I want my $100,000 by the time I'm 25. I want my new Benz by the time I'm 24. I want this. Want. And at the same time, they're talented and hungry and trying to get that. And you're like, you gotta be patient because the company needs to make more money. And then this one guy, he was a superstar. He passed away. And
rest in peace.
And then they promoted these guys that deserved the chance that hadn't gotten it yet. And watching them step up, it's funny when you get to management because the people that you've always had your job, but now your job includes looking out for people and people looking out for you, even as a manager. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to inspire them. And these guys have done that recently.
Yeah, and I think it's a happy marriage between the manager that actually looks out for the people under him.
And a manager that earns the way to the top.
Yeah, and then earns that respect of everybody that he knows within the company. Yeah. That is a major, major key. That's what creates longevity. Now, I know that is kind of dicey depending on what field you're in or depending on what job you're at, because not every company has the corporate morale as high as yours based on what you're telling me. So it's one of those situations where
no, morale was at a low. All right. A little
It was
bit
at a low before, but where is it now?
all-time high.
That's what. Okay, so there was a trajectory then.
Yeah, because here's what happened that was so amazing. And I'm not fronting. I'm not bullshitting, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this guy. Remember, we'll say he's Romy, all right? That's what I used to call him, Romy. His real name was Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Romy. This guy was unbelievably. He looked like a little soccer player, like like Latino or Portuguese, Puerto Rican. I never asked him what his ethnicity is. I never asked that kind of question. I mean, I don't know if somebody tells me out of their pride for their heritage, I'll pay attention. But I know he used to play soccer, and he's got this beautiful smile, and he had this wonderful aura, and he could move super fast. He was a supervisor. He had been in the game since the game started, pretty much bounced from place to place, found his home at Green Dreams. You know what I'm saying? And he was smart. He never used foul language. He always played weird stuff. You know that some of those guys play, and you know the more random it is, the more I love it. You know,
Right.
Some days he'd be playing the Mario Brothers theme. Some days he'd be playing the Rocky, you know, but not just the Eye of the Tiger, the Burning Heart too. Some days he'd be playing the hot hip hop thing. Some days it'd be some disco music. And whatever it was fast, it was upbeat, and your man's moving a million miles per hour, taking care of his crew, but also running between all three crews. And his energy is what I would call a high energy person. I'm a high energy person. There's other people, and they move around at this. Cam's a high energy person. Fee is a high energy person. And these high energy people, Darren is a high energy person. Xavier, when he wants to be, is a high energy person. And then we got these chill people, you know, my man Tyler, my man Kyle, you know, and like Evan and Carlos, the guys that got promoted, they can be high energy, but they're also low energy. They can be chill, not low energy, chill. Mm-hmm. That's not the same. Eric is chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm high energy, you know, but I'm learning how to chill. I'm practicing my chill. You know what I'm saying? One day I'll be fully chill. One day. It's a dream.
I've been waiting for 10 years. I still haven't seen it yet.
And the guy, Ronnie, he got in a car accident and he died, right? And then I instantly thought of every time I saw Ronnie, and every time was there ever driving things that were issues. And one time, he got in an accident in the back of the parking lot with somebody. He rear-ended somebody, and that was back last summer. That should have been a red flag right there, you know. But he was so good, you know what I mean? Like oh, he made a mistake. Then it was December. And I'm sitting out there, it's cold, and we had the black ice that morning, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I used to come in super early, and he was always one of those first guy there kind of things. I only waited on him once. I beat him when I was first starting to see how early people came, but he always beat me. You know, getting there early and opening up the place, getting everybody ready. And one day, he came in, and he came flying through that ice. I mean, and he parked right beside my car. He just came in the driveway, flew right through that black ice, and parked the car. And it was fast. And I looked at him, I was like, bro, you're parking right beside my car, and you're driving on black ice like that. He's like, what's wrong with black ice? I was like, when black ice is the road, man, that's freaking ice. You'll slide all over the place like the ice capades or something. And he was like, really, Brandon? Really? Like I wanted to be upset with him, kind of. But at the same time, he literally didn't know what black ice was. And then when he passed away, he was in a car accident. And I thought about that, and that was it had everybody hard. And then, you know, I thought they were gonna, you know, use the internet, try to, because you didn't think at all how much he did until he was gone. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. You didn't know how much he did until he was gone. And then the moment he's gone, I'm like, yo, like, the more it sets in of shit he did. And yeah, I'll put it like this. They raised 3 guys to a new position. Well, he probably did the work of all 3 guys. Straight up. Mm-hmm. And then they stepped up. Everybody was shook for a moment. People went to the memorials and everything. And then from that, and new people stepping up to management positions and being good managers, then we started building. And we started building something special. which is what we're building now.
And that is freaking great, man. So it's a shame that a loss of life kind of propelled y'all to get good company morale and everybody working together and really being on sync. But it's always, I look at life has a funny way of giving you duality. So on one hand, there was a tragic death that happened, accidental death. And on the other hand, your company morale and the camaraderie that you guys bring now branched off from that. So it's just weird how that duality of terrible and negative and positive just kind of balanced it in a way. It kind of balanced stuff out. Now, granted, I get it.
Isn't Alpha Omega the birth of something and Omega the death of something, meaning the essence, and which means once you're born, the world's never the same, and once you die, the world is never the same. You know what I'm saying? Because in your death, in a way, everything that you did when you were alive is remembered and passed down. Now, how long that lineage lasts, who knows? You know, how long I could be sitting here talking to you, and my lineage could be forgot, but your great great grandson might find this video, and boom.
Yeah.
You know, you never know with art.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of the internet now. Like, your legacy can live longer if it's being recorded through audiovisual equipment. That is the beauty of what we're doing now. You know, there's some people, once it gets past my great-grandfather, I struggle. I'm like, well, who was his father? And I don't have a freaking clue because I wasn't around at that time. So it kind of gets struggling because you're trying to find the lineage, where the legacy is coming from, and stuff of that nature. So it's one of those things where we really have to hone in on the fact that we're here for a limited amount of time, not a long time. And we have to make the most of it, and we have to leave a certain level of impact.
Yeah, but doesn't that put so much pressure on every situation, right?
Not really.
No, I do. I think so, because it's such a deep thought, and everybody wants to think these deep thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But when really happiness is simple. It's a simple decision. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to make the most of it. It's the most basic thing that you got. And the thing is, when these guys stepped up, and they did step up, this wasn't no pep rally type thing. It wasn't like everybody woke up in the morning, all right, today we're going to do this for Romy, guys. Nah, it was unsaid. Mm-hmm. It was undead. It was undead. It was just a vision. One guy, I want to be a manager. I'm like, don't worry. Did you tell the boss you want to be the manager? Well, no, I just want to be a manager. Well, listen, little Smurf. Yeah. You got to be patient with yourself, and you got to let your goals be known. You have to let your goals be known. If you don't tell the people what your goals are, how are they going to know?
Yeah.
How are they going to know? What? I'm just going to magically want some goal? You know, you got to speak up for yourself, and then you got to be willing to follow up whatever promise you give, because that's the key, the follow up, the finish strong. Start off strong, all right? I love a good strong. In fact, a lot of times at my age, when I'm not in the shape, sometimes my beginning is so strong that I can chill for the rest of the day because I ain't got no more energy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I can take it all day. You know, you got to balance that. But the finish strong is where you get your money. That's where, you know, when you close it out, when you bring it home, the clinch home run, the long bomb, boom, the victory, the victory at the end. You know, that's why in the fights, it's the last rounds that matter the most on the scorecard. People lose the fight if they're not ready to finish strong, you know?
Yeah, I definitely get that. I definitely understand that, man. It's definitely amazing to hear these things, and this is the reason why I kind of pride you on saying these things, because I think it's important, especially everybody listening, especially with everything that you've done. We've had conversations on corporate America on this show plenty of times, and I've had my chats about it.
Yeah.
I've had my gripes about it. You've had your gripes.
A lot of gripes when it comes to capitalism and individuality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of gripes, you know, and that's another thing. Like, you know, they let me dress how I want to dress. They make me express myself freely, which is, you know, like,
it's ultra rare because usually you got to conform to a certain type of politic.
Well,
almost.
see, they kind of do, because all these different people that work around all of this different stuff, they got to wear scrubs, just like a nurse has to wear scrubs. All those types of things. You got to wear scrubs. They come in, they got to change in their scrubs. They got to make sure they got to put rubber gloves on their hands. They got to put hair nets on their hair. They got to put stuff on little booties around their feet so that they're safe when they're touching all of this stuff. It's regulation, you know. But me, as a maintenance guy, I get to wear pretty much blue jeans, khakis. I got about 4 or 5 different outfits. I got my electrical outfit. I got my plumbing outfit. I got my dirty outfit, my green waist outfit. I got my hard hats. I got my glasses for the real bright lights. I got my little lights for in the dark rooms. I got a little green light if I have to go in there on emergencies. So most people don't have that at the job. They just have their scrubs in their outfit. I gotta wear each one of those outfits.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I definitely understand that. So I want to get into the day that you had that was really awesome, and we kind of talked about over the phone a little bit earlier, but you had a particular work day recently that was very, very...
You want to talk about yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday was crazy.
Go ahead, go into it.
All right.